Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of What's Driving Token Prices. I'm your host, Katie Talati, Director of Research at Arca. For those joining us for the first time, I'm responsible for analyzing and identifying digital asset and blockchain opportunities for Arca's funds. As part of our research, my team and I examine token prices and the market events that act as catalysts for price change. Based on our research and market events over the past week, here's some notable token price movements and what we think drove these moves. As a reminder, this commentary is not intended to be investment advice, investment research, or an investment recommendation. Please consult your investment professional for your own circumstances. All right, it has been a fun roller coaster week, everybody. If you didn't see the big kind of headline news, is that last week BlackRock filed for a Bitcoin spot ETF with the SEC. Many have pointed to their very strong record with getting ETFs through the SEC as an indication that this could be approved. However, this is probably a next year thing, just since the timeline for ETF applications is long. Bitcoin and Bitcoin derivatives are rallying quite a bit on this potential news. So very exciting, definitely lifting the market up, definitely doing well for Bitcoin, which is, outperforming Google here. So we're happy to see it. But got more specific news for you today on the token front. So we shall jump right in. All right, so first up, I'm going to talk to you about Binance. So BNB Chain announced this last week a big scalability initiative for the chain, and it's going to use a fork of OP Stack and develop a rollup. So basically, they're going to be creating an L2 on top of their chain. BNB Chain already has some of the lowest fees of any L1, but the new rollup will lower fees even further. Again, probably really good for scalability long term. Not sure if it makes much of a difference, especially since they're not even using, their own developed tech. They're just forking Optimism's stack. Also of note, Binance announced they're going to be discontinuing service to users in the Netherlands and the UK as the regulatory noose has seemed to tighten around the company. Binance's BNB token has lagged the market here, up only 1.7% for the week. All right, up next we have Ethereum. I know you guys are probably like, Katie, why are you talking about all the boring stuff this week? But Ethereum. So super interesting. There was a developer proposal that was unearthed this week that includes changes to Ethereum's maximum validator balance from 32 ETH to 2,048 ETH. So if you're not familiar, if you stake ETH, the minimum requirement is 32 ETH, and the maximum is to get rewards is also 32 ETH. So originally it was designed to kind of ensure decentralization of validators for Ethereum. But now, like, the hope is that the increasing this maximum balance should lower the number of validators in order to speed up finality of the blockchain and also reduce messages between validators. So the proposal is currently being heavily debated since a lot of these. So it's being heavily debated. The reason is that there's a lot of like staking providers that basically run tons and tons of validators because of this 32 ETH max. And what's happening is that because essentially one entity or a handful of entities are running so many different validators, it doesn't necessarily help decentralization to have this like lower max threshold, and they'd be better served by having a higher threshold because it'll just improve the network throughput. Essentially we have these staking pool providers, right? So Lido, Coinbase, Rocket Pool. Basically having this will be, potentially good. There's a lot of debate back and forth, though. A lot of people are not okay with the idea of like having more kind of like concentrated risk or centralization. There's, a lot of kind of like good give and take here, but people seem to be really interested in this topic. It's also, always a heavily debated one, decentralization or speed. So on this news, Ethereum is up 8.9% for the week. All right, next up, we have Osmosis, which is the decentralized exchange built on Cosmos. So Osmosis this last week passed 3 major tokenomic upgrades through governance. The upgrades included a 67% reduction in token inflation, amounting to basically changing the inflation rate to only 11% annually. They also launched concentrated liquidity pools, and they added a 15 basis point taker fee for the protocol on trades. So these are all super positive changes. I think most importantly, just like lowering emissions and then also adding a fee in for the protocol are really, big game changers. So they're really positive for the long term, but the DEX market has really struggled to outperform in a meaningful way. So don't necessarily think that osmosis is going to, do well on this initially. Um, Osmosis on this news, though, is up 10% for the week. All right. Last but not least, we have Frax. So Frax Share is a decentralized finance product. They offer a lot of different products, including a decentralized stablecoin. They offer loans, and they now offer a liquid staking product. So Frax had two major announcements this last week, and it really caused it to outperform the broader market by quite a bit. So first, they announced that that in the future they're planning to launch Frax Chain, a hybrid rollup or layer two solution. So this is layer two solution, likely to launch at the end of the year, and likely we think that transaction fees from this layer two will be paid out to Frax stakers. So the second piece of news was they also the Frax team, the project initiated a $2 million buyback of FXS tokens over the next 5 months. And with another proposal, there's also another proposal kind of in the same realm that is focused on doing a buyback that's based on price instead of time. So although the team stated that this would not create a floor value for FXS, the buybacks will seek to purchase tokens below $5. So Frax has really outperformed on this news, up 22% for the week. We shall see if it manages to hold its gains. All right, that's all I got for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed our insights. Tune in here again next week at 1 p.m. Pacific to hear what's driving token prices.